Today I thought I would do kind of like a sit down and kind of let you guys get to know me a little bit. I realized that I have been doing YouTube for consistently for a year. I was kind of uploading videos here and there the year before, so like almost 2 years ago. Maybe even there's even some videos like from 3 years ago, but I was never consistent. It was kind of like if I had time, I kind of put up a little video. My first videos that I posted started out with or the first videos I posted, I should say, started out with me recording some of my friends doing like CrossFit stuff, me doing some CrossFit stuff. I know I've mentioned this before in earlier videos, but I actually lost like almost 40 pounds doing CrossFit and eating right and taking better care of myself. I have kind of like strayed a little bit and gained a couple pounds back. Yeah, so I've been doing YouTube now steadily for 1 year, and so my channel has grown slowly and steadily, and I really appreciate everybody who stopped by and supported me and left comments and just been really really nice. So I thought I would sit down today and just kind of do a quick let me let you know a little bit about myself, because I realized that I've been doing this for a while and it kind of helps to know a little bit about the person. So yes, lately my channel has been like kind of geared towards homeschool stuff, because that's something new in our life that we've introduced. We started doing it in October, but this is not a YouTube channel that's just about homeschool. It just, at this moment, it's taken a huge part of our life, and so I wanted to share that experience with you guys. But my channel is basically a roundabout chat, like a rounded channel. I'll talk, like I've talked about fitness, I've talked about my fitness struggles, I've talked about my fitness goals, I've done some DIYs, I've done some vlogging, and what else? I've done some like hauls. So it's just really a mixture of things, and I feel that as my channel grows, I'm starting to find a niche, and I'll be able to move kind of into that niche, but I don't want to box myself in to like a certain category. One thing I can tell you is that I am pretty family based, and so that's what you will see a lot on my channel. But enough of that, let me just kind of get into about me. So as you guys have seen, if you've seen me in my other videos, I am a mother of two. I have a 13-year-old little boy. Well, I say little boy, he's not a little boy, he's a teenager, and he's like taller than me. But I have a 13-year-old and his name is Joshua. And I have an 8-year-old and her name is Mia. And as I said, we started homeschooling. I started homeschooling my daughter in October, and I started homeschooling my son in November. I didn't originally have plans to homeschool my son. I was just going to be my daughter, and things went really well with my daughter, so I thought, like, why not go ahead and add my son to the mix. We've had some really awesome days, and we've had some really like struggling days, and I think that it's all part of the process, and I think that we're gonna still have some awesome days to come, and I think we're still gonna have some struggles and walls and bumps that we run into, just because we're just figuring out what works for our family. What else could I tell you? My husband and I have been together since I was 18. I think he was like 19 or 20. But yeah, I met him when I had just turned 18. We met in the military. Him and I both served in the Navy, and we both served on the same ship, and we both served in the same division. A lot of people ask me how that was possible, because it's like, is it technically frowned upon like to be dating in the military and stuff? But if you've been in the military, you'll find like there's a lot of dating within your division, and just in general, without getting too like specific. But anyways, my husband was actually the first person I met when I got on the ship, and he was very sweet, very confident, and he was like, hey girl. We have been together for going on 17 years. It'll be 17 years in November, and we have been married for going on 14 years in July. So yeah, we have been together for a really long time. We've grown together, we've grown up together, and definitely I feel like there is no one out there that understands me. I don't even understand myself the way that he understands me. Like he doesn't beat around the bush. He's like, this is what's going on, and he doesn't sugarcoat things. And sometimes it can seem kind of like rough or like tough love, but really he is like my best friend, and I've never loved anyone, and I don't think I will ever be able to love anybody the way I love him. And I hope the same is for, like, I hope he feels the same. I know he feels the same. I mean, come on. But yeah, so we were stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. We had my son my last year when I was in the Navy, and we actually eloped. It's funny because my parents, I mean, my mom like knew like within a week or something like that. I think my dad knew kind of like a few weeks later. We both served on the USS Kearsarge together in V1 I-landed aircraft, and he was in crash and salvage. Once people found out we were dating, they kind of like separated us, even though we were still in the same division. We just didn't work side by side anymore. When we got out of the Navy, we moved to California. We lived in California for a year. We bought our first home in California. And then after a year, we moved to Texas, which is where I'm originally from. My husband's from California. And then from Texas, we lived in Texas for like 3 years. And then we decided, in that time, we had my daughter. So my kids are about 5 years apart. But in that time, we had my daughter. And then when she was, I think, like 3 or 4 months old, we ended up putting our house on the market in Texas, and then we moved back to California. We bought a house in California. We lived in California for a year, sold that house, moved back to Texas, bought a house in Cy-Fair area, if you're familiar with the Houston area. And then 3 years ago, we bought the house that we're currently living in. And actually, I bought it from a friend that her house wasn't even on the market. We had just put our house on the market, and when we put our house on the market, we weren't expecting it to sell as quickly as it did. And so we were kind of like left scrambling. Things that we were interested in weren't no longer on the market, and we wanted to stay within a certain price point. So I had asked my friend if she was interested in selling her house, and she was. And so my husband drew up all the paperwork, and he did all the paperwork for us to buy this house. Yeah, we have owned 5 houses, and we have sold 4. 2 of them or 3 of them we've used a realtor. The first house in California, I sold myself. But let's see, I am currently in school right now, and I actually finished my associate's degree a couple years ago. I was working at an elementary school as a PE assistant, and then I really enjoyed it, and I thought, you know what, I need to do something about this. And so the opportunity came up. Because I was in the military and I still had my GI Bill left, the opportunity was there for me to continue my education, and things were really good in my husband's work situation. And so I originally had planned to work because I loved my job so much. My plan was to work and go to school full time. But I know that there are people out there that do it all, that they juggle work, they juggle family and kids, and a social life and school and all those things, and I really commend you for it. It just wasn't something that I was able to do, and so like something was lacking in one area or the other, and I wanted to be able to be the best that I could, and not just be a part of like little pieces, like give only like a little bit of myself to like my kids or to my job or to education. So I left. Like, sadly, I left my job at the school I was working at. They gave me a lot of support, and I appreciate it, and they still support me now. And I've never been happier in any other job position than in the position that I was working at before, which makes me feel even more confident about continuing my education and hopefully going back to that school. Or I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was subbing for a while and going to school full time. And I really enjoyed that. And then, like I said, a couple months ago, in October, I just decided to, because it's always been something I wanted to do and wanted to try, and I figured why not try to homeschool my youngest, and then like a month later we added my son to it. And I enjoy it. I can't say that it's been the easiest thing that I've taken on. There's days where I feel like I'm spread really thin, but there's days where are just really amazing, and I have this opportunity to grow and bond with my kids in a way that I think a lot of parents don't get to, and I think that I don't want to take advantage, I need to take advantage of these moments, because as I look at my 13-year-old, I realize how fast time goes. And I mean, I barely remember when he was a baby, and now he's like this big kid, and even though he's 13 and sometimes he drives me crazy, I just love him. And I'm sure like a lot of moms out there feel the same exact way about their kids. But I'm actually very shy, believe it or not. Like, if my friends are watching, they're gonna say she is not shy, but I'm really camera shy. Actually, I should say it, because like I can make friends with the wall. Like, I can seriously have a conversation with the wall. I was that kid in class that, like, you could move me, but I'm gonna make friends wherever I go. And I guess that's because I did move a lot when I was a kid. My mom was a single mom. She worked really hard, and so it just seemed like we were always moving. I think I went to a new school every year, like even high school years. Like, I went to like one of the high schools I went twice, but I mean, I went to 5 high schools, and there's high school's only 4 years. So I kind of had to be able to make friends, and yes, I'm very camera shy. A couple years ago, I would say, like when I was working on my associate degree, like years back, I've done all my classes online, but I remember having to do like a speech, and I had to do it like a video camera speech, and I remember like literally crying every time I had to do a video camera, like do a speech on camera. And so I think I've come a long way and opened up, and if I could have talked to myself like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I would have been like, no, there's no way you're gonna be having a YouTube channel. Don't know really why I started YouTube. It just seemed like something fun. I really enjoy editing videos. And so I really would like to do more in that area versus me doing like these sit down things and stuff like that. As I get more time and as I finish with my school stuff, I hope to have more time to put more effort into my videos. But for right now, this is what it is. But I feel like I really enjoy it. It's kind of therapeutic, but it's also a great hobby for me. And so I hope that to turn it into something a little bit more eventually. But I think all in due time. I just thought, I've been doing this for a year, and I realized I hadn't really told you guys anything about myself. So I guess if I had to put it all in a nutshell, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, and those are like the best parts of my life. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it kind of gave you a little bit of insight of who I am, and a little bit about me, and I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one.